So there are a lot of weapons in Tears of the Kingdom that you need to specially craft, but are totally worth your time. A lot of them have very interesting powers and effects that can change how you take on enemies, so we're gonna cover all of these and more in this video. But first, today's video has been sponsored by Bloodline Heroes of Lithus. It's free to download on both Android and iOS, so totally get it using my link or by scanning the QR code to get an amazing starter pack. But Bloodline is a captivating hero collection RPG with great visuals and unique mechanics. Recently, they just unveiled a new class called the Nine-Tailed Vulpines. They are the masters of illusion and use spiritual magic to confuse their enemies and siphon their life force away. But new legendary champions are constantly being released, and you can build your own by marrying any two bloodlines to create over 1,000 possible hybrids from elves, demons, demigods, and so on. The possibilities are endless as hybrids inherit both the talents, traits, as well as the unique visual appearances from the family tree fusion. You can really build your own kingdom up and use strategic plays to dominate in seasonal PvP guild wars, earn special points, and get even more unique bloodlines. So don't wait, check Bloodline Heroes of Lithus using my links or by scanning the QR code on the screen to get an amazing $20 worth starter pack. Plus, the first 30 users who reply with their account IDs and usernames to my pinned comment below will get an extra free legendary Nine-Tailed champion. Now, we already covered one of the legendary weapons before when we talked about the Scimitar of the Seven and how you can get it after finishing the main story in the Gerudo town. This weapon's hidden power was the fact that it gives you by far the biggest damage bonus from fusions especially, which lets it achieve some of the highest damage. But all the rest legendary weapons are acquired specifically after finishing the regional phenomenon in the 4 specific regions, and they also come with their own unique effects. So let's get started with the Lighscale Trident, because you get this from a side quest after finishing the main story portion in Zora's domain. Once done, head past the general store in the first platform right here and keep it to the right side until you reach Danto. He will tell you that he can craft the Lighscale Trident for you, but he's going to need 3 components, including 1 Zora Spear, 3 diamonds, and 5 pieces of flint. So to get a Zora Spear, there's a guaranteed one from the Mired in Muck side quest right next to the Upland Zorana Skyview Tower. You'll just have to save this NPC from the muck that he's covered with, so a quick splash fruit can help with that. Once done, he will give you the spear right away. Diamonds you should have plenty of by now using the methods we talked about in previous videos, otherwise you can buy 3 from Goron City near the Octorok farming spot, though they will cost 1,000 each, so just buy 1 and dupe the rest. Meanwhile, flint is abundant in most tables and also from breaking rocks inside caves, so you should have plenty of by now. Once you got all components, you can go back to Danto, give them in, and he's going to immediately craft the trident for you. Now, the weapon is actually really good as it comes with a higher base damage value than most other spears. However, when you combine this with a silver Lionel horn, you might be tempted to believe that the Gerudo spear is better because of the higher stat number. But in reality, that's not true, because if you add water in the mix, either by staying in a puddle or being out during rain, the damage on the Lighscale Trident actually doubles to 154, which in turn makes it the highest damage of all spears that you can acquire through normal means. This is such a great weapon. It's going to have a very long reach, so you can just keep enemies at a distance as you're safely poking away. What's great is that the double damage buff persists even after the rain has stopped for several minutes actually, so you're not losing it abruptly. I really love the looks on it too, and the fact that it's awesome just makes it so much worth it to get it as soon as you can. The next one is going to be the Boulder Breaker, a really awesome two-handed greatsword that literally smashes rocks. To get this, you have to complete the mission called Soul of the Gorons that you can start after finishing the main regional phenomenon in Goron City, as well as finishing the Fire Temple. Once done, you can head over to Rohan and you can already see the weapon next to him. However, to craft your own, you will need to bring several materials. Just like in the previous cases, this includes a cobble crusher, 5 pieces of flint, and 3 diamonds. For the cobble crusher, you can head over to the Elden Canyon Skyview Tower nearby and then look to the camp just west of it. You will see a bunch of enemies guarding what's essentially a treasure chest that holds the item inside. Now, if you're like me and already lost the one from this, you can find a second one in the Elden Mountains in this precise location up west. Once you reach here, you're going to notice a bunch of breakable rocks to the side of this column. So destroy them, which is going to reveal a chest, so you can grab the same weapon again from it. And once you have these, you can just go back at Rohan, give in the items, and they will craft you the Boulder Breaker right away. Now, this weapon is really impressive because it's by far the best counter to Stone Talus enemies from what I was able to find. You can simply jump on these bosses and then do a quick spin with the default blade, which will literally shatter the stone exposed over there. And in just a few hits, they will drop on the ground like they are nothing. The same would go with any armored enemy, as you can quickly use this to shatter that, but it also deals pretty good damage against all enemies. I would even combine this with something like a Lionel Horn to keep it against Lionel enemies and just do some nice decent damage if you don't have any other alternative for now. At number 3, let's talk about the Great Eagle Bow. This is one of the earliest, best bows I believe that you can get with a 3-burst shot already on it, and it's a quick one after finishing the regional phenomena in Rito Village. Once here, you can go ahead and talk to Teba in one of the huts to open up the legacy of the Rito Village side mission. Just like the rest, you'll need 3 diamonds, 5 flint, and for this specifically, a swallow bow. Now, there are a few locations you can get one, but the quickest is just south of the Picada Stone Groves Tower. Using that, you can simply make your way to the southern face of the mountain in this location with the 2 large ice formations next to the wall that you can see as you're skydiving. And once you reach the destination, simply use a fire source to melt it. In my case, it seems that the glitched Fire Master Sword from yesterday still kept its effect, so I'm gonna use that. Now, this will give you the bow, so you can go back in Rito Village, give all of the items in, and you will get this awesome looking Great Eagle Bow right away. Now, I will admit I was a bit disappointed that our variant lacks the ribbon that Tulin seems to clearly have, so not sure what that is all about. But outside of that, this is a pretty respectable bow, all things considered. Of course, not on the same absurd level as the Savage Lionel bow with the 5-burst shot, but still amazing at the stage you can get it in. Even if it breaks, you can always craft another one, just like in the case of all the other weapons, dupe it or fuse it to a different one and use the Octorok repair method. Plus, 3-shot burst is still pretty decent even against silver enemies, depending on the attachments that you use. I will say, as far as visuals go, it's one of my favorites and definitely worth duping. But we have a few more weapons that should deserve the legendary status, except that they are amiibo weapons that you can also get via in-game means in case you don't have that. So Sea Breeze Boomerang is really an underrated weapon that I'm starting to love a lot more now. You get this real quick from the treasure in the Hebra Canyon mine. To get here, you can use the Hyrule Ridge Chasm and follow through the light routes up north until you reach this Edwon light route. From here, you can just take the mountain next to it and descend towards the next light route, which is northwest of it. Around this middle point, drop down to this spot where you can see the ruins beneath you, and you're going to find a weapon inside the chest in the middle of it. But this is an excellent boomerang choice since it tends to have a bit more durability than most other similar options. By far my favorite way of using this is by attaching a Frost Gleeok horn to it, which completely one-shots and destroys even silver level enemies such as the Bokoblins. Like, one single throw against this boss freezes it for a very long time, and if it physically hits, also takes a huge chunk of HP. Or you can dupe it and combine a freezing one with a silver Lionel variant and one-shot these freezing targets like they are nothing. My favorite, however, is by far coupling this with a Zone 9 cannon device to turn it into an insane, almost infinite, fully automatic bomb-throwing weapon. This now will let you take advantage of all these explosions to completely wreak havoc over an entire camp. By the way, totally use this with the Zonai armor to reduce the battery consumption on it, and now you can go ahead and just spam these attacks. By the way, doing normal melee attacks with this is going to unleash a full automatic cannon barrage until you just set everything on fire and shoot everything away. I really like this combination, but there's others you can reach similarly to it. Finally, there's one more weapon that achieves a result like this, and I'm going to talk about the Magic Scepter real quick. The reason this is so good is because attaching different types of gems to it literally gives you different variations of this weapon. So there are a few shrines that immediately give you this, but the one I used is the Maya Hisik shrine, which you have to find anyway during the mission when you unlock the fast travel devices from Robbie in the Hateno village research lab. So at the start of that quest, as you're using the scanners to find the shrine beneath the lab, you will find this by accessing the cave onto the side of the hill. And inside you're going to find the shrine, and then you can retrieve the scepter from the middle of this room with the chest next to it. But now that you got it, you can fuse either ruby, sapphire, topaz and other similar gems to it to turn it into a different magical staff. So if you fuse it with a ruby, for example, you can hurl 3 boulders that set everything on fire, deal really good damage, and you can even use these to create updrafts in grassy areas to use them strategically in combat. The range on that is also really big, so you can take down multiple enemies at the same time. Sapphire, on the other hand, is even stronger as it lets you do a gust of frozen wind around you that will instantly freeze everything. The range on this is really high, but its biggest advantage is that the long freeze duration lets you create other cool combos. One of them is using the second magic scepter with a topaz on it, which sends 3 of these electricity orbs around you. And once they hit a frozen target, this also combos with the water effect to trigger a larger AoE shockwave that affects all nearby enemies instead of just the primary one. There aren't many weapons in Tears of the Kingdom that make you feel like a true wizard, but this definitely does, and the combos you can achieve and the utility is definitely top notch. In any case, this is pretty much it with today's weapons. Let me know down below if you have any other similar awesome fusions you can find. In the meantime, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.